Hello, it is time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this. Hello, it is time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
Would you look at that? It's another Wednesday, folks. You know, it's hump day, I guess. It's actually the 4th of July weekend. So it might be past hump day for y'all. Like, I got told, and let me bring my people in. I'll give you all the news about what I got told in my work. So, from the city that's named after him, we got Corona. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. From somewhere on the dark side of the moon, we got Kenny.
What's going on? Where's everybody?
What's up, Kenny?
What's up?
As soon as I see him, I'll bring the Florida man in. But so I got told that I might be cooking tomorrow. I was like, huh?
You might be
For
what?
the company barbecue. Typically, it's the plant manager or the assistant plant manager. And the assistant plant manager is not there tomorrow. Plant manager is. But if he's not cooking, it's me. I'm like, hey, when did I get promoted? That's what I'm telling him. Like,
hey, tell him give you a bonus. You know what I mean?
it's just kind of funny. You know, it's like, that's upper management stuff. I'm not, well, I can't say I'm not. It's more like,
If you do cook, what you're cooking?
Not, but I can't say I am. You know, it's kind of an interesting saga. But it's almost like the owner's there. Why don't he cook? No, it's going to be me.
You're like Hank. You're like
Hank. If you cook, what you cooking?
I'll be cooking for 50 people.
I know what you're cooking though.
I gotta do chicken for someone that doesn't eat pork or red meat.
Oh, that sucks.
I just put the smoker together. You know what? Speaking of smoking, it's that Florida man that y'all hear about, Levi.
Yeah, what's up, Levi? Yeah, what's up, everybody in the chat? Don, Bebop.
There's a chat?
There's a chat.
Oh,
okay, there's
shit.
a chat. What do you mean there's a chat?
Hey,
there's always a chat.
Everybody. I didn't see it.
What's up, John Jay?
I might be going to the classes though, because StreamYard done sent me the bill, and I showed Levi and Kenny. That is ridiculous.
Dude. Yeah.
How much they charge you now?
It was somewhere around $230, $240 last year. I'm sitting there going, how did that go up so much? Like, are you guys
$400 or some shit?
$200?
I know.
It's gone up about that much. I don't get it.
That's crazy.
Master class on OBS and just teach y'all how to use OBS.
Dude, I know I only get 20 hours, but I work around all that shit. I don't get an intro, so I just make my own music and shit and all that. Like I just work around.
I know you. Well, I don't know what the free plan has to offer. I've never used it, but you can only have 6 people on.
You can only have 6 people. You get 20 hours for the whole month. It's not enough for you.
20 hours might be. It might be, because if you think about it, we go 2 for 4 of them, so that's like 8 or 9. We'll give this show 9 hours, and then 2 for every other Monday, so that would be probably 13, maybe 14. Well, 1 every other Monday, so 12-ish.
You just won't have your background, and you won't have your intro and stuff. That's the only thing.
See,
is that spongy?
The problem is I'm kind of accustomed to having my stuff. Dawn, what's cracking? Good evening.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Bebop. We got Bebop in the building. We got Spongy. He's the Eagles fan. Don't hold it against him, folks.
Yeah, I was wondering what.
Yeah, we want to go check out that movie, that Jurassic World. That pretty good movie.
It was
I
sold
was
out.
wondering what Florida man I
Yeah,
saw
sold out,
in the
yep.
news recently.
I'm
but I
not
guess
gonna ask
was
you about it
legal.
later. My only knock is I was so disappointed when I saw the trailer and I saw Scarlett Johansson was the main
What's up, Daniel Berry?
character.
Daniel Barry was cracking.
Daniel Burry.
Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Is he in the building? No, he's not in the building. He's in the building, but he's not in the building.
Is it John Jay?
He's in the building, but he's not in the building.
Uh,
It's like he's like Mission Impossible. He's getting in, but he's not
Yeah.
quite in. For all you know, he could be. Oh. But yeah, this is a football channel, but this is not football related. The Lakers, the majority ownership has been sold for $10 billion.
This is old news.
I mean,
To who, Kenny? 3 days ago.
I was like,
The Dodgers owner now. He even bought the Kings too.
No. Kenny, what's this guy about, buddy? Say it. Just say it.
private equity. They're buying everything.
Yeah, they bought the Lakers, bought the LA Kings.
I mean, if you were a rich person and you had all the money in the world, wouldn't you buy
Oh,
things
yeah.
that would make you more money?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definite,
Yeah.
definite.
That's all they do all day. It's insane.
I know, this wasn't
and
3 days.
First
It might
off,
have
3
been-
strikes out away from 3,000.
Yeah, basketball and baseball also has no limits, bro. They have no salary cap, right? Does basketball have salary cap?
Yes and no.
See, it's shady.
Well,
There-
who would
there's
lose?
There's
Levi.
an apron.
He must have
There's
hit a
an
wrong
apron.
button. Oh, okay.
Nope,
So
the
there's
nuke
a small,
started falling and it hit Florida for. Oh no, there he is.
There's a
Okay.
small guardrail in basketball.
Kershaw's gonna get his 3,000 strikeouts tonight, baby.
Is he?
Yo, but baseball needs the no salary cap though, because they have to make baseball as fun as possible. Because it could be very boring baseball if we're being honest.
Hey, you know how you make baseball fun? Bring back performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, and tackling.
Oh, right.
Allow tackling.
Back in the day, a lot of people are young and don't quite know what I'm talking about. But back in the day,
You mean when
when we
guys
had
are like,
Barry Bonds,
this
Mark
big-
McGuire's of the world playing
Sammy
baseball, it was
Sosa.
entertaining to watch,
Jose
okay?
Canseco,
It
Sammy
was
Sosa.
fun.
Oh heck
Yeah.
yeah,
Bring
it
back
was.
performance enhancing drugs, baseball.
all
It
the
was.
players I like.
It was Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa,
Oh,
and
Won that.
and somebody else I forgot.
Jose Canseco.
Yeah,
We got
and Jim Tomey. Not Jim Tomey. Yeah, Jim Tomey too. I think.
Yeah, he was pretty big.
Ooh. Yeah, so the arm badge is actually healing. It don't look like an arm badge anymore. Well, let's see. Can you actually see?
Oh,
it?
yeah, you can see it.
Ew.
Oh heck yeah.
Maybe you need.
It used to be literally that deep. I'm not even kidding. It was that deep when it first started. It was huge. Kenny saw it. I sent
should've
Kenny
used
a picture.
You should have used the stapler, David.
No, because then the skin's bunching up. I won't be able to move my arm.
But you'll get a mini facelift on your forearm. You'll look younger on one forearm.
Yes, Bebop, I am so with this. Bring back performance enhancing drugs, MLB.
BlackRock,
Quit
exactly.
being lame.
So
Yeah,
here's,
this game- this
What if
game
it
was-
makes their balls small?
here's my answer to BlackRock.
Everyone
Yeah.
wants to see one. A lot of people at Dodger Stadium right now.
Didn't they rate? Oh, that's another show. I'm sorry. We're gonna stick to sports at least.
That's right. That's right. That's what the night's about.
Yeah.
So the main topic for tonight, and we can touch on this when Levi gets back. I don't know. I think he may be having some computer issues.
Something must be going on with his computer. I think the weather's okay.
But the main topic for tonight is why hasn't our second round pick signed? It's not only our second round pick. There are 30 of the 32 second round picks that have not signed.
Oh wow.
Now, the reason why the first two picks of the second round, 33 and 34, were the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. Those guys are the only two to sign. they got signed to fully guaranteed contracts like first round picks get. So now all the rest of the guys in the second round are like, what about us? So thank you, Cleveland Browns and, Houston Texans. Like, thank you. We really don't appreciate that. Like, honestly, the second rounders, maybe they should get fully guaranteed. I mean, it's not like they're signing huge contracts here. Their first contract, it's not big. It's not gonna make them for the rest of their life, unless they're like really good with money. If they're really good with money, they could possibly do something like invest into rental properties, and then it don't matter what they do, they'll always have that income type of thing. But it's, I don't know. Like if the Niners cave and sign the 43rd overall to a fully guaranteed contract, then all the teams in between are going to hate us because we signed our guy before they did. And there is a first round pick that hasn't signed his contract, Cincinnati Bengals. They don't want to give him the fully guaranteed contract that all the other first rounders got. Like, guys, there's a thing going on here. Like, you're supposed to do it. All right, you're supposed to do it. And
I don't think they want to do it. That's
the Bengals. The Bengals don't like they give a lot of guaranteed money to like Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, right?
Which is fair. That's fair.
Yes, they're top 5 in their category. Period. Right?
Yeah, because they were playing offense the entire time. The defense was never on the field.
Well, the defense actually has to be able to stop people too for them to win games, though. They has to get a stop every now and again.
That's a big reason why all those Cincinnati Bengals had so many stats. They were constantly on offense, like almost the whole game, because the defense was getting rocked.
And that's I predicted the Cincinnati Bengals would actually pick defense with all their draft picks. They ended up picking like an offensive lineman and a running back. So they didn't go full defense, but I think they only had like 6, maybe 7 draft picks. I say only because we always have like 9 to 11. But everyone back east, they just pulled the internet back east, folks. Like, there's no internet back there right now. But so the Cincinnati Bengals are in a wrestling match with their first round pick. They don't want to give him a fully guaranteed contract. They want an out. And that's because he's a boom or bust guy that's more than likely going to bust, because look at his production in college. Shamar Stewart, 4.5 sacks, 3 seasons start. Dude, where's the production? Yeah, you killed it at the combine, but that don't mean it. That does not relate to on-the-field success. Shout out to Solomon Thomas, because he also killed it at the combine, and we took him like 3rd overall.
Shout out to Solomon Thomas.
So, I don't... He signed with someone. I can't remember. Didn't he sign with the Cowboys or something?
Solomon Thomas?
I thought he signed with the Raiders.
No. He's a Cowboy.
Oh, he's a Cowboys now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. They can have him. He's mid. He fits in that team. He's mid.
It's funny.
Right?
It's funny.
He's trash. He's trash.
All right, Levi. Here's Levi. He's back. So, Levi, what's your opinion on this? The second round pick saga going on. Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans sign their guys to fully guaranteed contracts. Now the other 30 want fully guaranteed contracts. What do you think?
I don't think it's about the fully guaranteed. I think it's just the regular dominoes, and we had 2 irregularities. And once like one guy signs it, it'll just cascade from there.
Yeah, they think it's Wari from Seattle. They're thinking
unlike
he signs.
Unlike the Cincinnati Bengals, teams like the Ravens, the Niners have waivers to protect players even if they're not signed to their initial rookie deals. That's the whole stand up or hold up with Stewart over in Cincy. You know, Mike Green's on the field. Mike Green been practicing with the Ravens from the get-go. But, you know, I believe he's one of the ones still unsigned as well. So,
Yeah, what's up, Seahawks?
Like,
I think
one thing I think, like, a lot of these second round picks aren't signing, not just because of all the all the stuff Levi was just saying, but also some of them had first round talent and think they can get first round money, which is probably also another thing, which is why what's holding them back from.
By the way, I saw the numbers for the performance escalators for the past 3 draft classes, and just not this year, of course, but the last year with y'all, when y'all got Renardo and all that, you got 3 high level. Like, basically, they're in 3 tiers, and tier 3 being the highest, and you got 3 guys in tier 3, which is always a great sign. Basically, they're outperforming their contracts as rookies significantly.
That's great. Great.
I saw one of the Rams finally gave some respect to your Eagles today.
Yeah, we need to keep that up because we kind of restocked with a lot of young talent, you know.
So real quick,
I'm actually going to go put a cover on the arm badge. I'll be right back.
Yeah, my apologies. I was going to pull up OBS to show y'all.
So, Kenny, how you think that our first-round pick's going to do?
Our first-round pick?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 sacks, and he should be decent run stopper. About it. I don't expect too much in his first year.
I'd say that's a very fair and accurate expectation.
I mean, 7 would be great. 5 would be nice.
Because he's killing in practice, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good sign. You don't want to hear that he's not doing well, but someone used to joke about how Ryan Leaf never threw an interception in practice, yet in the NFL, he threw the most interceptions. Like, he was just so bad.
So very true. Like,
wow.
There's a lot of guys that, you know, until the pads come on, especially like guy on the line and, you know, edge players, until the pads come on, the tackles are handy and guards are handicapped, like, severely.
Right.
Honestly, I like Michael Williams or Michael Williams, whatever his name is, or however you say it.
It's Michael, not Michael.
Hey, is Drake Jackson still on the team?
Drake Jackson? No, he got let go. Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, his back or something like that, huh?
No, but somebody picked him up though. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but somebody added him to their roster.
Let me see who.
It may have even been the Chiefs. I can't say that that's right, but I think it's a team that definitely.
Spongy, look that up, please.
He tore his patella.
Patella tendon.
Which I actually have a sprained patella right now.
Ouch. So Levi was right about the dominoes falling. Right now it says the highest selected unsigned second rounder at the moment is Seattle Seahawks Nick Emenwari. Whenever he signs his deal, that should be a pretty big domino to fall, which should get the ball rolling on the other second round selections.
Well, that's also...
What's up, Red Zone?
Emenwari is also a guy who had first round talent. He was supposed to go in the first round. He probably wants first round money.
Right. People want money, and the NFL doesn't want to pay anybody money, and that's what's going on with Shamar Stewart.
That's not even what's going on with Shamar Stewart.
No, Shamar Stewart. What the Bengals want to do is not give people money in case they get hurt or whatever. But the NFL wants to join. Like, every team wants to be able to do this. Every team wants to be able to do that.
It's also that, but it's also the fact that that Shamar also wants, like, the injury thing, like that. If he gets injured, during practicing, they don't have that clause in there.
During practicing, most definitely they should do that. Yeah, in a game, different story.
That's what he said. Like, that's the reason he didn't sign. They didn't have some sort of guarantee.
That's smart.
Which is why I actually defended him when it first happened. Like,
or
guys,
he should just...
I hate to tell you this, but he hasn't been signed by anybody.
Who? Jake Jackson?
Yeah.
So I thought he got picked up. I was almost positive.
He hasn't been picked up.
Honestly,
I'd take a flyer.
I would take a flyer.
Yeah, same here.
I know Spongy would take him on the Eagles.
I would take a flyer.
Because you could say it was all Nick Bosa, and that's why he had 3 sacks in the game. But my man had 3 sacks in the game. He also was a hell of a good batter down of the ball. Like, remember, he batted down a lot of balls.
He played part-time, and he was like, I think, 2nd or 3rd in the league in batted balls.
And I believe he had an interception.
He could really get his hand on some balls, you know?
Yeah, he's good at getting his hands on some balls. Yeah. But he also had an interception. He also had an interception, and he had a fumble or a fumble recovery, something like that. So he had action around him. He was like, you know.
Okay, I know that this is football related, but not the topic that David was talking about earlier. But I saw this post earlier, okay, and I decided to quote tweet it. So it was a graphic.
Yes, sir.
It was a graphic of who has the best skill players, which is running back, all 3 receivers, and tight end. And it was Eagles versus Cowboys. So this is what it was. It was Javonte Williams versus Saquon Barkley. We know that answer.
That's an easy one.
CeeDee Lamb versus A.J. Brown.
That's closer, but it's got to go CeeDee.
It's got to go CeeDee.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh. Okay. George Pickens versus Devontae Smith.
Oh, I mean, George Pickens 100%.
What?
Over Devontae
Smith?
Over Devontae Smith, 100%. I had Devontae Smith on my fantasy team last year. The guy had some touchdowns. I know he had 8 touchdowns, but he was
What's up, Chad?
Inconsistent.
He's a wide receiver.
You just hold up, Spongy.
Inconsistent.
I'm going to educate myself before I answer.
Okay. On what? Which one? CD and Pickens, I guess. I mean, I really think the only debate that we could have is on wide receiver 1 and 2 for each position. For out of all the positions.
I think Dallas has the best wide receiver room, period. Just my opinion.
Well,
Pickens is a number 1. Pickens is a number 1.
Kenny, I'll give you
CD
this.
is a number 1.
Wide receiver 3, Jalen Tolbert versus wide receiver 3, Jahan Dotson. Who are you taking?
Devontae Turpin.
Devontae Turpin is not on this list.
He should be 3, and I think by the time the season starts, he will be.
By the season, he will be 3. But I also think they have him as 4.
Okay, so I'm going to pick Devontae Smith. He has a couple 1,000-yard seasons. George Pickens has 1.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do with CD versus AJ Brown?
Well, hold on. Remember that the Steelers, they're not really passers of the ball. They run with 2 they run with 2 running backs.
Now,
they throw to a tight end.
Now, dude, CeeDee Lamb is a hell of a player, though.
He's elite.
Hey, you think Ramsey's gonna ball out in Pittsburgh?
He's gonna play a little. He's gonna play a little safety.
I know. Yeah, Zach, I know Levi.
Damn, CeeDee Lamb had 1,700 yards in freaking 2023.
What's up, Papa J?
How many 30-year-olds are on that team now?
I'll take CeeDee Lamb, number 1 wide receiver.
With a 41-year-old quarterback?
But listen, the thing about Pickens is that he didn't have a quarterback. He had 2 running backs, and they throw to a tight end, and that's why they added a second tight end, because they're going to run it with 2 running backs, and they're going to throw it to 2 tight ends.
Well, what's wild is they
had
a great tight end, too. They had Darnell Washington, who was the guy behind Brock Bowers at fucking Georgia.
And he's tall. He's really tall.
Crusher.
Oh, A.J. Brown, right?
Yeah, but
in the fucking run game, he is a crusher.
Jonnu was like a top 5 tight end.
So when Bowers put up over 1,000 yards at Georgia, he put up fucking like 700
what
behind
do you say,
him.
David?
He is a tight end too.
So they can run 3 tight ends, even better.
Except both the guys they just took are injury prone.
Man.
I say
main thing is they don't throw to wide receivers.
Now the CeeDee Lamb versus A.J. Brown's kind of
A.J. Brown is like a victim of circumstance in a good way. You know, he really.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of a stalemate there.
And the reason that they pick up their quarterback and throw him into the end zone in Philadelphia,
Oh, Spongy, I see you think Ramsey ball out in Pittsburgh.
I mean,
I know Levi said hell no.
I mean, about that. I mean, you saw what Jamar Chase
I'll be right back. I'm having issues.
I mean,
why would they trade the other guy? He's younger and better.
Minka, I don't think he was necessarily happy without showing.
And they weren't using him correctly. I think they were
Yeah.
having him play a lot of nickel, and that's not what he does very well.
Hmm.
They changed up what they were doing, and he just doesn't. It's just crazy because Miami drafted him in the first round. He played 18 games, and then they traded him to Pittsburgh, and now he's going back to Miami.
You saw.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
seems like
crazy.
it's something about this trade is just like, okay, you've heard from pretty much players on both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyreek Hill has said stuff about the trade that he doesn't like, that they shipped Jalen and Jonnu after they both had all-pro seasons. Raheem Mostert also said the same thing. He said this team doesn't appreciate their all-pros or whatever they say. They always ship them out after a year. And then you see with what George Pickens said from the Steelers' point of view, and he was unhappy with the organization, with what they did. And I don't know if any other Steelers players came out and said anything. I bet they did, but...
And I agree. And one of the biggest critiques is if you look at that cornerback room for the Miami Dolphins, don't get me wrong, it's kind of exciting because they're all young and they've got some good players, but exactly, that's what it is. Can anyone name me one corner on Miami's roster right now?
Noah
without using Google.
And the guy Sponge named is the starter. He's got 4 years of experience. Everyone else is younger than him.
And no one heard of him yet.
Exactly. He's kind of like a nickel guy. Primarily. He can't even play like true number one.
Jones, what's up, buddy?
And they lost. All of this, too, is because they lost Javon Holland to the Giants, who was one of the best safeties in football last year.
They could have kept him, but they just didn't.
I thought the Niners were going to go pick up Ramsey.
Oh, did he?
I thought the Niners were going to go pick up.
He wanted to go to the West Coast.
In the cusp of all this, Flores. I got a confirmation out of all this. When Darren Waller came out of retirement to sign with the Dolphins, it confirmed what I've been saying about the Giants for a while. That a lot of those players were faking injuries because they refused to play for that organization team. I think last year was the example. That shit dates back to fucking Odell Beckham Jr.'s time in the Giants.
That's too bad.
But I don't blame them. We all know that front office is pretty incompetent.
To be fair, though, Darren Waller was also going through some stuff last year. His divorce with Kelsey Plum.
He's been going through shit since the
everybody goes.
Days in the building. Chad Schrader is. Dawn has a good question. Low the truth. What's cracking?
Low.
What's up, homie?
Right though, Minka Fitzpatrick is a dog.
Yeah. So
Chad Schrader, what's happening?
He just hasn't been the same player, according to Steeler fans, the past few years.
They already have two better cornerbacks than Ramsey already.
So
don't get me wrong, they got Joey Porter and Darius Slay.
Beanie Bishop as well.
Now
Beanie B.
What is that?
What are you saying, McNina?
Points for the podcast? You talking about Levi's channel?
No, she's got like this symbol. She's got this symbol right here by her.
John
that's
Jay
something new.
John Jay is backstage, I think. John Jay is here.
I think
what
that's
is that?
For I still don't.
Let's go, Will Smith, baby. Let's go.
A wrench beside her name, which is a moderator.
No, it's like.
So she's got 100 XP.
Hold on. So I know what this is. I don't see
any of that on my screen as well.
If any of you guys, if you guys go to
is someone backstage?
Yeah.
But if you guys go to the actual chat, like you're about to chat in it on your phone or something, something pops up right at the top near the.
What's up, my Warriors brother?
What's up, my Laker brother, my Dodger brother?
Something's off to next to it, and it's X.
My Niner brother.
I guess it's how long you've been in the stream, and stream for now. How long you've been in it, and you gain XP. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. I think it's something to help with.
Well, right now, Dawn's got 100 XP. She's the top.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. It's just the more you talk, if you give a chat, like if you do a super chat, you get points. If you talk,
I don't think
that's how my Streamlabs bot works.
That's why I thought it was. That's why I thought it was you. But YouTube did this now for free. So
Seahawks Eddie's number 3.
That's smart.
Yeah, so
because you're the.
I'm not sure who number 2 is. All I can see is 49er So I don't know who number 2 is.
Levi, real quick, what happened before was Fitzpatrick got traded to the Steelers because Miami didn't want to pay him, and then Miami trades Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith because they didn't want to pay them to bring back Fitzpatrick, who they didn't want to pay 5 years ago.
And the real thing is the Steelers are just all they did was kick their rebuild down the road. And like in this trade, Jalen actually got a small raise in the trade, so they're giving Jalen more money in Pittsburgh.
Well, like $1 million and after taxes.
Yeah, but it just. If you look at their free agents like next year too, like TJ Watt's a free agent next year, they still got to get that deal done.
There's words about there's talk about
Don said Red Zone's number 2.
Is it Red Zone?
Yeah. Minka though has his best year was 2022, and he's kind of been, according to PFF grades, kind of been on a downhill slide, especially in coverage.
He's also getting older. That's another
exactly like any free safety struggles as they get older. Even Ed Reed only put up.
This is
9
funny.
years.
Like a lot of the people that are on here, literally in here. So Seahawks, Eddie, we got John J number 4. Low the Truth, you're number 5 right now on the list.
It encourages
David Corona's 6, Papa J is 7, Crazy Juice 8, Chad Schrader's 9, and Bebop is 10.
Bebop, come on.
That's the top 10, and that's all it shows me.
It encourages people to chat, so it's cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
If you did a super chat and you gave David some cash when he gets monetized, then you would get bumped up to the top. You get more points.
That's how mine works.
Somebody sent a super chat for McNair.
Yo, McKnight,
he's got to hit.
I'm not monetized.
Yeah, but is this wrong? I heard you only have to
why I'm having the struggle with paying for StreamYard right now. It's like
I heard you only have to get to 500 now. 500.
Yeah. So the first level of monetization that like I'm at is 500 subscribers, but you have to then have like fucking 10,000 watch hours or in the past year, or like 2 million, like fucking 2 million short watch hours. You have to. I'm lucky because with the long-term content, sometimes I'm holding like 100 streamers for 4 straight hours. And so I actually hit the watch hour requirement before I even hit 500 subscribers.
Yeah, I can do the watch hours. I can't do
thousands where it's at though. Thousands where it's at.
Dude,
but 500 you can at least get like super chats and shit.
We're talking about the Steelers and a rebuild. So I just want to say there was this rumor going around, and it's not really even a rumor. It's just a trade idea that I think it was some broadcaster, not broadcaster, but a radio host brought up. I don't know if it was a Philly guy. I think it was Philly, but it was Nolan Smith. It was Nolan Smith and a late round pick for TJ Watt.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
I mean,
y'all would be unstoppable. Like Josh Sweat was good, but TJ Watt's another level.
We are named the top favorite to get Watt if he is traded, but
the Steelers have said they have no fucking intention of moving him.
It's not. It's just forget his money up.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck are the Dolphins doing though? Like I'm looking at their roster.
I told David they're tanking, dude. They're tanking.
It definitely kind of seems.
Hey, could you see Arch Manning in Miami in like 2 years, 3 years?
No way he gets there.
Look, Mika Fitzpatrick is 28. How many more years does he have under contract? This is where it makes sense for the Dolphins, right? Jalen Ramsey is under contract until 2028. Who is that?
I have no idea.
And like the thing is, like Tyreek Hill's got legal issues, definitely on the
popped
downside.
up.
Jalen Waddle actually took a step back last year.
What does she want?
Like I think they lost their starting left guard, but they drafted a young guy. But
are you talking about the cream of some young guy?
Jonah Savanea from Arizona. They got him penciled in left guard, and then Patrick Paul last year pick left guard tackle did 78th out of 81 tackles in the league. And the guy Spongy was mentioning, Kohu, their starting slot corner.
No, I said Noah Igmanagi.
Oh yeah, then you're not even.
It sounds like you guys are speaking Swahili.
Their cornerbacks, legitimately, the highest ranked guy on the starting list, 57 out of 116. Storm Duck starting at right cornerback, 96 out of 116 cornerbacks. And then their pick last year, Cam Smith, I think had his season cut short, but he's got a 33.6 PFF grade before his injury.
Another thing.
That's your starting corners for the Miami Dolphins, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
find it crazy
They
that a
sound
team
awesome.
like them.
With
find it
Minkah
crazy that a team
Fitzpatrick
like
declining
Miami,
and Melifonowu starting at strong safety.
Ifiatu Melifonowu, that's insane. So no, I just find it crazy that if you look at free agency right now, guys like Justin Simmons and especially Asante Samuel are available. Like
I know, what are these teams doing?
Like especially the Dolphins, go get a guy like Asante. Like seriously, Asante's 25 years old and supposedly he's been working out every day. Supposedly in the best shape of his career.
He was.
I
I don't know. I hear he's dealing with.
I'm also in the best shape of my career, Sponge. Somebody sign me.
Yeah. App State, here we go.
Chad, by the way, as much as it would pay me to see TJ Watt go, I would sleep so much better at night if he was not in the fucking division.
What's up, Chad?
But you would hate to see him on the Eagles, wouldn't you, Levi?
Well, the Ravens.
At least we don't got to see him to the Super Bowl, and we're a little used to him.
The Ravens are not happy. I know that.
The game plan for TJ Watt is the same as always. Wherever he goes, Patrick Ricard follows to double team him, just like how we do with Myles Garrett. That's how we deal with Myles Garrett too.
I have a question for Levi. I was talking to some guys on a podcast show, and Lamar Jackson came up, and they said that he's ass. So I wanted to ask you: are they lying to me?
Lammer?
This season truly has the potential to be different. Like, I hope we get the Lamar from 2 years ago when he opened up against the Dolphins, threw for like 500 yards, 505 touchdowns, something like that. Set a record.
Well, you think he's gonna pass the ball more, or you think he's gonna run more?
God, it's just
or 50-50.
It'd be 50-50. It's just there's so many weapons. The camp standout currently. I know it's camp, so you got to take a step back. But
this isn't
we took a wider
McManus.
Third or fourth round last year. Devontae Walker, super excited about him. 6'1" guy, ran a 4.3 something. Had one of the highest contested catch rates in all of college football, and put up like 1,000 yards despite not even playing a full season because the NCAA cut his season short for transfer. Dude, TJ Tampa's been standing out, by the way, Sponge. You know your boy Cooper's boy. Devontae is just going over people, fucking mossing people left and right, and like starters.
Guess who the guys who have been going off?
Jihad.
No, not Jihad. I don't think he is currently.
Is he going to start? I doubt it.
No, well, Nakobe Dean got hurt late, right?
Well, Jihad is also injured. So
okay.
It might Smile might come in. He's been somewhat of a standout, I think.
The Eagles aren't even a top 5 defense. That's what I heard.
And LeJontay Wester is solid. That's like I just don't even know how people.
Let's go Pirates.
That's what the experts are saying. Sponge.
They showed. By the way, Kenny, they showed under pressure. Zay was the third highest targeted wide receiver under pressure last year. So they're saying Zay really is his security blanket in a sense.
Well, listen, I had Zay and I had Devonta Smith last year. That's how I know I hate the two of them.
I mean,
Kenny, I can understand that.
Melissa's in the backstage.
There's too many mouths to feed in that Ravens offense. I wouldn't draft any skill position.
No,
other maybe than Henry.
I would take Lamar, and Henry. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. No tight ends.
Hello.
Kenny, I can understand why some experts are saying that. But I'll get into that in a minute.
So, Kenny, are you saying the Eagles are ass?
The Eagles' defense is ass.
Oh, okay. So no, let me elaborate on.
I smell them in Sacramento. They're so bad. Hear the roar with us.
There are these things called showers. I mean,
yeah, man, hit the showers, Eagles. What the hell? Smell like cheesesteaks and cigarettes.
I'm excited to see if Jalen Hunt develops this year. He
Hey,
was a
guys.
guy that needed time.
Real quick, breaking news: Pittsburgh Steelers favored in 6 of 17 games in 2025. Holy crap! Oh my God! I'm sorry, Chad. Is Chad still here? Cover
Yeah,
your
he's
ears.
No,
Earmuffs.
but
Now here's the thing, though. I will be
Earmuffs.
honest.
Yeah.
That Steelers defense is, without injuries, is almost damn near good enough to carry any inept offense to the playoffs.
They're
minimum.
better. They're definitely better.
The D line, the edge, the line. Patrick Queen had a bad year last year. I've never been I love Patrick Queen, but I know what his deficiency is, and he's got to have the right guy beside him. But the secondary is outstanding. I think Caleb Johnson is a huge upgrade over
from Jalen Warren.
Najee Harris and Jalen Warren's. He's got. I didn't know. Apparently, they signed my boy Evan Hull. I didn't know that from Northwestern, who the Colts drafted.
But you know why these experts are saying that the Eagles have a bottom tier defense?
I haven't heard anything.
It's because it's all the young guys now.
They fell out of the top 5.
Yeah, it's because it's all the young guys now, and they don't do their draft research, and they don't know these younger guys, which is why they have us rated so low. By the middle of the season, I think we'll be at least top 5.
Maybe. Here's something I'm going to tell you right now.
Cuba
Zach Bond, not going to have the season he had last year. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Fine. Yeah,
That's
we have
just
other
something.
guys.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not making fun of your team. I'm just saying that's something that you can count on.
He won't have the pass rush that's there, but
Yeah.
I think with it's their D line. It's one of those
Well,
ones,
he
man. The
just
D
did,
line
he
frees
just
him
did
up.
great. He was really good last year. That's all I'm saying. So the
Like,
chances
go
that he
ask,
doubles
like,
that up.
He was
Peter
maybe
Boulware,
a little,
Terrell Suggs, Ray
was
Lewis, all
maybe
them
a little
boys.
too
Who made
good
their
last
life
year.
easy? And that's Goose and Trevor Price and Haloti Nada.
I mean, like, I just, I think the team needs to make at least one more move. It doesn't have to be on defense, but one more move to just shore everything up.
TJ Watt.
No, I mean,
They're not getting no TJ Watt. I don't know.
Dude, the Steelers are not trading TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right?
I have
He's
a
always
prediction for
been
you,
there.
Sponge.
How you doing?
Mac McWilliams will beat Kaylee Ringo for that other
Corona.
spot.
I don't. No, this year I want Keeley to get it, and next year Mac can get it. I would prefer.
Do you know what the knock on Kaylee was coming out of college?
Penalties.
Yes, he was too
I know that,
handsy, despite
but-
having the speed, man.
No, but here's the thing, and I know he showed in his first game against Seattle where he really got big snaps. I think maybe last year or 2 years ago, he was really handsy. He got a costly penalty, but he's been better with that, and he's been a big camp standout. So, and if the team's not gonna go get a guy like Asante Samuel, they are really set on Keeley. So I mean, I think Mac's gonna be on special teams this year, and also be like the cornerback for.
I just got that much faith in Mac as long as he's healthy.
I know I'll have faith in Mac, but I just want to see Keeley do it for at least the first 3 weeks.
Here's another thing about.
I think he excelled in man coverage too. Is the thing.
I'd like to keep it simple. Here's another thing about the Eagles defense, bro. You're gonna be tired. You don't have the schedule you had last year. This schedule is ugly. You have an ugly schedule. It's hard.
Well, but it's also not like I don't think our guys are gonna be as tired because remember, these guys are young. They're not old. They're not going to get gassed.
They're young, but if they're coming from college, they don't play 18, 21 games in college.
I have a question for you, Sponge.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins the starting safety job beside Reed Blankenship? They have Makuba actually penciled in.
I actually think it will be. It all depends.
Because you got Sidney Brown, your kid from Illinois, a couple years ago. It hasn't played bad. I think he had a great interception.
What?
I think what we're looking at right now. So for safety, I think it might. I mean, honestly, it might be Coop. They might throw Coop in there and give Mac the nickelback placement. But if it's not Coop, it's gonna be either Makuba. And if it's not Makuba, is probably going to be if they sign a Justin Simmons. That'll probably be who it is.
When did Sidney Brown have that 99-yard pick? Was it last year or the year before? Was he a rookie?
And
Nah.
Kenny, I know you probably weren't there for that one. That was one of my draft special guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my defensive safeties that year. I was like, I'm telling you, man, this kid.
I mean, I really
he was at the Senior Bowl that year.
I like him, but the only problem is
he was.
I didn't realize y'all had a Lewis. Is it Sign or Senior?
Yeah, Lewis Seen, first round Vikings.
Yeah, he was a former first round safety.
He's just been. We signed him last year during the playoffs. Just
Injury
as
problem?
he's had injury problems.
That's
He's
what
been,
I thought. Yeah.
and I think he's had what all Georgia players have, like legal issues. I think, but I'm not too sure on that.
That's racist, sir.
Whoa.
That's
racist.
Scholasticus, sir.
Whoa, where are we going?
Hmm.
I want to change the topic. It says the Eagles have signed Jim Everett.
Oh no.
We need a quarterback, not that bad, though.
QB4.
Shout out to Chad.
Nah, he be in a trash can.
So Jalen Ramsey's
Sox.
cap hit, folks, is like $26 million a season for a couple seasons. Minka Fitzpatrick is 15.5 this year, 17.6 the next year. Well, that's what he actually makes. According to Sports Track, his cap hit is like $10 million and then $5 million. I don't quite know how all that works.
Will they restructure though? Will they restructure it and re-sign him?
But yeah, so that's a big reason why they traded Jalen Ramsey. They signed him till 2028 on a pretty big contract.
Ooh, Levi, I have one more name for you.
Wow.
What's that?
I thought the Niners was gonna go pick him up. Honest with you.
No.
Dory Jackson, possibly.
Why would we? No, we wouldn't
I was
absorb a
looking at
contract
Neva.
like that at this point.
He's
Right.
Sidney
I saw
Brown
he's
also
listed
got
as
he also got into a fight last year, didn't he? Or something?
That was
A scuffle?
I think that a lot of the team got in on that, but I think it was on a
Hold on, what?
special teams play.
You
Is
know,
this
the
a
one
Phil-
thing-
is this
It
a
was
Philly
against the
player?
Cowboys, I think.
weakness of this Steelers defense, if I had to pinpoint any, by the way,
Melissa has
it's
a
going to be
question.
their safety position now.
Or are you saying hi to Bebop?
But they're probably going to sign Simmons now that they've made that trade.
They can sign Simmons. I'm just sick and tired of all these analysts and Justin Simmons himself.
It's like
saying he's
making a
gonna sign with
left
the
in New
Eagles.
Jersey, Melissa. It's like making a left
I'm
in New
just sick of
Jersey.
it.
I feel you on that sponge.
My voice is still not back. I know a few of you know what happened to me in June. I had an accident and I had a hypoglycemic seizure and I had to be rushed to the ER. And I bit clean through the middle of my tongue and both sides. And it took a while to heal.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
Corona.
Terrible.
So I wanted to come on, and I didn't want to interrupt Spongy today because Spongy and McNiner and Kenny and a couple of others have been really kind and really supportive of me as I slowly heal back. So I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but I also didn't want to blow up Corona because he did ask. So
All good.
it's nice to be back. It's nice to hear all you guys go back and forth again. But
Oh, that's always.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you
Spongy,
back.
I'm not trying to break anything up. I'm just trying to get an answer out before Corona goes off because Corona sometimes has to log off early or whatever. And like I said, I don't have my energy back from way back when, so I could fight all Jersey on you. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody.
Yeah, because I asked Melissa to be on the show on Friday last week, but she couldn't make it. So
Yeah, the sides of my tongue had healed, but the middle hurt, and it's just anytime like you talk for a while, like you accidentally brush your tongue up against your teeth with certain words and stuff, and it just it's not that I didn't want to. I didn't want to physically like push it too far.
yeah,
And backslide. So
all good.
hey, Spongy, can I ask you a question? When you're breaking up all these people for your secondary, how come you don't bring up the two giant players that you signed?
I did just bring up a Dory, but who's that other Giants player? Aziz?
No, the one is in your secondary, I think, and the one is a linebacker, or
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
Aziz-
linebacker.
Aziz
Why?
and Adori.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
Aziz Al-Jabbar?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
They have him in as the
Yeah, but
slot
here's the funny thing about that, Levi.
or strong side linebacker, but I think
Every single Giant fan wanted him traded by the deadline last year because he's never been healthy. Like last year, pre-deadline, that was the healthiest and most successful he was.
Yeah,
And then
again,
as
like I said,
soon as the deadline hit, that's when his injury came back, and then they just had to part ways with him again.
I don't know if you
like
were
I said,
here when we
Georgia
talked
player.
about it. I joked earlier with Darren Waller coming out of retirement. It's what I've been saying for years that players in the Giants organization have been faking injuries to just not play for
Bro,
the
you know
Giants,
what? I
dating all
thought
the way
Den-
back
Okay,
I thought Denver was
that's
going to
not
sign him.
Levi. You're not actually wrong because Kenny Galladay and a couple of other people have gone there with like big promises and saying, "Oh, we want to play for the home team. We want to bring respect back to the logo and bring a championship back to New York." And as soon as things get hard, people quit on the Giants.
I
But
don't
the thing
blame
I think,
Yeah, who's it? Dexter Lawrence on that
Spongy,
D line?
Spongy,
I think he
I'm
was
not
one of
bringing
those
the
guys
Philly.
last year.
No, but the thing with Darren Waller, I think it's different in so much that he was going through that divorce with his wife. They were like separating or they had issues, and he was leaving Las Vegas and he was coming to New York, and I think he wanted to like start a rap career or some weird shit.
He did. He started a music career.
and,
Remix.
and I think that's also what Russell Wilson and Camp were wanting to do for a while. You remember, come to New York or California to help Sierra's career bounce back. And I think too many people, because of how dysfunctional New York is and how selfish they can be past
What's up, LTP?
Halloween, I think too many people just don't give a crap in the long haul. And that's why I don't think it works out.
Niners, by the way, they have PFF has Jason Pinnock.
We have him.
I like.
Yeah,
Pinnock.
they actually have him get penciled in as your starting free
Yo,
safety.
I said that 3 months ago that he would be the
And it
safety.
has you starting 3 rookies:
Levi,
Williams, Collins, and Martin. Your linebacker.
I have said this, and Kenny will read me with this. I hate former Giants on the Niners. I can't stand it. I don't want it. I don't love it. But
this one,
but
I told y'all
si-
about. Upton Stout is slotted as your starting slot corner.
But I have a soft spot for Jason Pinnock, and I really hope it works out. But I really don't trust it.
Yeah,
I don't
Pinnock.
trust former Giants.
I don't know why. I like
And it's not because they're former Giants. It's just something about them when they go to the Niners. It always ends badly.
Backfires.
Richburg, Jacobs, Manningham. Like I could go on and on. I even got excited for Wayne Goldman a couple years ago. Remember when Wayne Goldman ran all over Seattle when we couldn't even do anything up in Seattle? Like, I got excited for that, and then they didn't even try to sign him. It's like, and now there's this 90-man countdown that's kind of helped me through my recovery. And I'm watching it, and I'm watching everyone get all excited about Isaiah Hodgins, and I'm just like, do none of you know how bad Isaiah Hodgins is? That a team that had Richie James as their leading receiver because they couldn't get anything done, cut this man because he can't catch, he can't run routes, and you're all excited about Isaiah Hodgins, like what, replacing Juwan Jennings or Brandon Ayuk, and it's just like, what are we doing?
I think I've asked y'all this before. Who do you have winning your left guard job?
Oh, I think it's gonna be isn't it shit, what's his name? Isn't it Ben Barch?
That is who PFF has.
I think we have Ben Barch.
There,
and it's not that I love Pinnock. I just knew that by the time we started camp that he was gonna be the only guy that could start. And he's getting $2 million, so that's how the Niners work. The more
but they also give what
somebody. They just
$2
kept
million
drafting strong safeties and no free safeties.
Yeah, but Kenny, they also gave $2 million guaranteed a couple of years ago to somebody called Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah, but
who
that was
the Eagles fans tortured the entire league with. And then cut him to keep Brock Purdy, and then he went and signed with the Lions and then the Arizona Cardinals. So it's not like
you just said the main keyword, Brock Purdy. Anyone else? Nate Sudfeld
okay, but
stays.
the point was we all thought that Brock wouldn't get the the spot because it was going to be Trey, it was going to be Jimmy, it was going to be Nate because Nate had the $2 million guaranteed.
I
And
know.
and they
Eagles led
in
the
that
Nate
one
Sudfeld.
rare instance they broke protocol and they went for who they loved, but it doesn't happen that often, and that's my also fear. Like they're gonna force like Nick Sakel or somebody else at left guard because Brock Purdy loves him so much.
I think the Niners have something to look forward to that I can relate to. A lot of super young players getting playing time. You know, there's legitimate potential, you know, according to these charts, that y'all might have 4 rookies on the field starting for your defense.
Which is crazy.
You know, talking about second-year players, third-year players, D winners, Renardo Green, Jair, you know, Mustafa.
Yeah.
Like,
And the rest of the players that are starting Levi are 7th rounders or undrafted.
you gotta. I mean, other than your wide receivers, you got a lot of
love
first-round
Evan
picks,
Anderson.
second-round
You
picks
watch your
there.
mouth up there.
But,
You might not be in Jersey no more, but
it's
Jersey
just one of
will
those
kick your
ones.
ass.
It means your defense is going to be a boom or bust this year. Either your rookies
Michael.
are going to ball out and y'all are going to be having the time of your fucking lives week to week, or we're going to be coming here every week like,
I think it's going to be the former because
I don't even want to say it. I don't want to
because of our schedule. We're going to have a nice schedule for these young men to adapt to the NFL. It's going to be nice. I actually said Niners defense is going to be top 10, which is bold. That's a bold take.
I would agree. That's a bold take.
Yeah, it is. Top
Especially
10, baby.
The youth of
In fact, in fantasy, I'm willing to roll with Seattle's D and the Niners D, and I'd be totally fine with that shit.
Wait, you want their D?
I want my
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna waste. Hey,
Wow.
hey, oh.
Pause.
Hey, oh,
No
What's up,
pause.
Lexington?
Full steam ahead, gentlemen.
Pause.
It's so cold.
I will-
USSD.
I will always be a diehard defensive fan, and I will always want the most for my defense. But after last year, I don't trust them. And
Yeah,
I
but it's
seriously,
a whole new team.
I seriously don't
It
trust
is
them
a
with
very
Salah.
different team. I would agree on
And we got
that.
Robert.
Okay, because
And
Robert Saleh
soft
soft zone
y'all's players last year that you signed, like
Bobby
some of those guys
S.
you brought in.
North
Okay,
Africa, baby.
But Kenny, that soft zone defense drove me crazy in 2019.
And I will
Yeah.
agree with her on that.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
beach slap drove me
It
crazy,
cost y'all a
especially
Super Bowl.
especially when they were facing the Ravens in the rain. Like you knew your kicker was coming off an injury. You knew your offense was limited in that downpour, and you were just so oh my god, it was so pathetic defense. And it was just like even the Week 17 game in Seattle, you had this huge lead, and you would just let Seattle like keep coming and bringing up the points, keep
We call
blowing
that
the margin.
Don't break.
You would let them just stay in it to the last possible second. And if it wasn't for Drake Greenlaw wanting to wash away the embarrassment of Julio Jones scoring in on him, I mean, like it would have happened again. Like
it cost Dean Pease his job in Baltimore. That same
and we don't have Jimmy Ward and Tart anymore. But with the injuries and with the non-continuity and the way Salah has never really developed DBs, that worries me a lot.
Ooh, Jair Brown's.
I don't think that Robert Saleh is going to do what he did in 2019 when he starts the season. He's going to be mixing it up a lot.
I don't think so. But that's the problem. It's easy to be on top of your shit when things are easy and no one expects anything. But when you're in the playoffs, when things get hard, when people go down, when things aren't working perfect, that's when this team has let everybody down.
You know, it's a wild stat.
Smart
I don't know if
people
y'all
learn
saw
from their
this.
mistakes. He's going to learn from his mistakes.
How many
I
career
hope
rushing
so.
yards does CMC have? Anybody know?
How many what?
How many what?
Approximately how many career rushing yards Christian McCaffrey has?
Oh, in his
Probably
career?
about 20,000.
Yeah, his career.
I mean, he's only got.
You would think, Melissa, but he was very injury
No,
prone.
he's only got like he's only had like 2 or 3 good
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Everyone
I'll give
always
you the
says that,
answer.
but
6,387.
Yeah, I was
Anyone
gonna
want to
say
take a guess on Lamar's? Lamar almost has as much career rushing yards as CMC does.
So
CMC has 6,300.
So Levi,
Lamar
are you
61.
Levi? Are you saying he's a running back?
He
Yeah,
still
technically
put
that
up
is-
almost 4K yard seasons. That's the thing. He's still better than most quarterbacks in the NFL,
Just
and he's
remember,
still better than most running backs in the
when
NFL.
Lamar
We
won-
are
when-
blessed in Baltimore.
When Lamar won MVP,
And
he
you
threw
still
23
can't win
touchdowns.
anything in Baltimore, Levi.
He threw
We'll
23
get there. It's a
touchdowns
hard
a
league.
year that he won the MVP. He threw 23
Okay.
touchdowns.
Levi, can I
He's a
ask you
running
this? Since you're probably like the only like really level-headed fan from another fan base that can understand my point of view. You love Lamar Jackson, and he is a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal leader for your organization.
In the regular season.
But doesn't he freak you out when it comes time for the AFC Championship or the divisional round, where he like goes back to all his bad habits and he tries to prove everybody wrong and like
Caveat.
wipe away like every
Because in fact,
year
that's
of
all
people
not
dissed him
Well, the thing
or
is,
said he
with
couldn't do this,
Lamar-
he couldn't do that, and then he goes away from what works because he should have won that Chiefs championship game, but him and his team tried to
and
prove
that's
that he
one
was
thing.
something else.
So let's talk about this and why it's a very
YTC,
pick
shut
a
up.
very early stat and continue the. It's one of those ones that's just but and I've said it again. It's hard
Levi's
with
going to
Lamar.
blame it on everybody else. Go ahead.
I mean, not everyone. Like I said, there's a blame pie to go around here, and how much of it is Lamar? Now, early on, like
I'm
people
really
like
not trying to pick on you, Levi. I'm just like really curious.
I've fucking said this argument a million times on here. I've said it a million times on my channel.
He's
A lot of it
cursing
does
now.
come from racist people. Now, I'm not calling any of y'all that.
Oh,
I'm
God.
talking
No.
about. I've
Levi
dealt with
knows.
Lamar being called a running back since college. You know.
Levi knows.
Oh.
So the argument is this: a lot of people are like, "Oh, this and that." How many times has he been in those playoff games? 2 of those years he wasn't there. Freak injuries. Like he didn't get hurt running out of the pocket. He got hurt because Ronnie Stanley, a Pro Bowl left tackle, literally got bulldozed back into him and stepped on his ankle.
Yeah, he missed
Makes
one of them.
sense.
He
Now,
missed one of the.
Especially in the early season, Melissa is right. He did have a little bit of a Superman complex, and he tried to do too much. Recently, he has done a lot better with that, but
He thought he was
y'all,
Superman.
like, you're not going to sit here and look me in the face and tell me Greg Roman's a great offensive coordinator, and John
No.
Harbaugh fought to keep him for extra years. You know, so,
Trust me, Kenny knows this more than most people. I hate Greg Roman.
and so while Lamar again has a certain amount of blame, how much blame goes on Lamar for the offense only calling 6 rushing attempts against a 20th ranked run defense when
Oh,
the
you
last
blame that.
run from
You
Gus
blame that.
Edwards was
That's-
a 20-yard run?
That's all
And
That's
that was
why-
the last time a running back touched the ball for the rest of the game.
That game
much
is
is
one of
that
the
up?
reasons. That game is another thing that goes in my file for rigged football. Why do
And
you
s-
stop running?
And
Why
so,
do you
like,
stop running the ball?
you know, okay, we fixed a little bit, but then the very next year we did the same thing. Now, last year was now Lamar threw a bad pick. Don't get me wrong, but Mark Andrews not only dropped that pass, he fumbled the play before. He dropped a pass before that. Like
Love to
the
see it.
ineptitude. So, and this is one of those ones that fucking kills me. So, case in point, our defense was terrible last year. We got beat by the fucking Raiders at one point.
The Raiders
They
are
started,
remember that.
we have brought back 6 ex-coaches. Dean Pease, Chuck Pagano, who the fuck else? Like, I'm not even joking. And the whole reason after we lost to the Chiefs with 6 rushing attempts, we tried to bring back our old interim coach to do and that's my thing. I love John Harbaugh to a certain degree, but as a head coach, you're going to look me in the fucking face at like fucking $20 million a year and tell me you can't do game management when you have an offensive and a defensive coordinator. What the fuck are you doing on game day, homie? Excuse my language, but
hot
like,
seat, hot
so,
seat.
you know, Lamar deserves probably about 20% of that blame pie. I will give him that.
But he's
but-
the
No, he
quarterback.
deserves all of it.
I
He's the
give
leader.
Lamar about 25 to 29% blame when it comes
Agreed.
especially to the playoffs.
Understandable.
But last year, I don't think it was so much him. I think it was more you guys were just believing in your own smoke. And you guys were like the Steelers.
Are you saying the
and-
Ravens were sniffing their own farts?
No, because
I-
think about it. The Ravens last year were like the Steelers, where they're either like really on or really off, or one side of the ball is really on, or one side of the ball is really off, and they're trying to drag it along. And then there were just some stupid games, like you were like,
You know
what
what?
the hell is this team? And that was that week 3 game against the Raiders. Like
Let me tell you.
nobody and their mama was like surviving those
Didn't
what's
Cooper
the
DeJean
term?
put a hit of the year on Derrick Henry, and I talked about it the week before on that stream.
Yeah.
The problem was this: the Ravens were really good last year, but if you're a fucking even somewhat intellectual coach in this league and watch film. Case in point, 65% I think of the runs went behind Ronnie Stanley to the left on an outside zone stretch to Derrick Henry. And especially because our guard play was so fucking inept last year, we were so like Kenny had Zay. You just know it's going to Zay at that point. And Rashad Bateman's hurt. There's nothing else. Mark Andrews ain't the same. Like, if a coach, that's why the Eagles fucking put one on us, man. And Cooper DeJean laid a hit of the year on Derrick Henry. And I told y'all, the key to stopping Henry is just hit him one time.
Are you talking about Cooper DeCleat?
Yeah, man, that was a fucking decleat. And that's the thing. You just got to get a hand on him before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Don't let him build up steam. He's not a Devon, a Kane.
Leave Derrick Henry alone.
Just, ta and hit a hole and be gone.
I heard DeJean can lay on some mustard.
So,
but here's the thing, though. Like, Levi,
that Grey Poupon.
So
you take meticulous note of your team. You're not like in the clouds. You're very level-headed, and I respect that about you. But
actually, there's usually a big cloud around Levi's head.
Just credit to Josh Allen.
Compared to a lot of fans, I give Levi a lot of credit.
Here's
the thing I don't understand about you and Raven fans in general. You guys saw for years, especially in that first real like Lamar playoff game in 2019 versus the Titans, right? Because the one before that he was injured, or he was a rookie.
Yep.
You guys saw that this is a player that has to build momentum and keep building momentum. He's like a battering ram. Like, you have to constantly give him the ball even if it's not working. And after that Chiefs game, when you guys were blaming everything on Isaiah Likely and trying to pull him out because Mark Andrews wouldn't have had his toe on the line and all that other crap, and y'all were blaming.
We didn't pull him out, by the way. That was just the NFL media talking shit. No one in Baltimore.
You guys were blaming Derrick Henry for limiting you guys, and you would have won that Chiefs game to start off the year.
Now, I will agree on that because he came out on every passing down. Like,
why is it that you guys want to blame everyone but Lamar?
Like, let me ask you
at least with us, we blame our quarterbacks. We blame everything. We own it. We're still like don't want to call it out sometimes, but you guys don't want to at all.
Is it Lamar's
I don't
fault
understand
that
it.
They signed Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry, not just for the Chiefs game, almost the entire year, came out on every passing snap. So even when the Ravens were trying to hide it, and what's funny is they didn't start changing that trend until I was literally talking to the wife of the GM of the fucking Ravens about it and pointing it out and saying, this is like, I know y'all you're looking for a coach to handle this type of stuff, but this is ridiculous that it's so easy to see at home. Like it, and again, it became that easy. And it's just like, it goes back to when we got whooped by the Chargers in 2018 before the Titans, or was that, I don't,
Yeah, 2018 was that first year where you guys sat Flacco.
Is it Lamar's fault that our offense and self-scouting did not pay attention and know that our tackles in Greg Roman's offense, mind you, were, by the way they set their feet, were tipping 100% accuracy, whether it was a run or pass before the snap? And if you know about edge rushing, if you know before the snap if it's a pass or run, it's game over. You will never find success in that fucking game. It's like hitting the 100% accuracy in play prediction in Madden. You are going to dominate your opponent.
Can I just tell you who I think is
That's not
to
Lamar's
blame?
fault.
I think who you really blame is Lamar's mom. That's who's to blame right here.
Wow.
Don't you say that about the Saint down here.
Don't you dog one of the best contract negotiators there is. Okay?
I would like to say that when it comes to the Ravens, they're still better than the Eagles.
Well, that's why the Ravens.
So let me highlight one thing that happened to us in that playoff game. If you were watching, Josh Allen literally was calling where the play was going. He literally was like 49, 49. It's because we were starting a 15-year-old linebacker.
That sounds like a leader. That sounds like a leader.
His name was Chris Board. We had like 3 guys 10 years older or more and trying to start beside Roquan because Trenton Simpson wasn't getting it done last year, which is why we brought in Jaden.
Hey, would you guys be down to trade Trenton Simpson?
Based off last year, yes, but he's a camp standout this year, so we'll see how that goes.
I'll take a chance on him. We have his linebacker teammate.
I mean, it's
You
hard to
take,
start.
you
though.
take
Like,
anybody,
even,
son.
what's his name?
You're right. I will.
The kid, Jack Campbell for the Lions, his first year, he was abysmal. Last year, he was like a top 10 linebacker in the NFL.
No, he was good in his first year.
No, dude, pass coverage, go look at it. He got fucking destroyed in pass
but
coverage.
He was good as like
As a run defender,
player.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
He's
so that's where he got his.
But pass coverage in the NFL, dude, when you get attacked constantly by high-low concepts in the NFL, it's hard to be a linebacker. Like, credit to guys like Fred Warner and Roquan that get it fucking done. Like, Roquan struggled last year, by the way. Like, it's just hard. It's a pick your poison style. But this year, like I said, we don't have. But yeah, Josh Allen literally was calling exactly where it was the play to go, and I think it was a 70-yard run they went on. They literally called his number on our defense, ran a guard right at him, and ran a 70-yard. And at that point, I think it was like first quarter. I knew we were not winning that game. Like, I hate to be that person. You can go back and watch my live. I was talking about it then. Like,
that's why
I knew we weren't winning that.
That's why he gets the big bucks, Josh Allen.
It kills me, man. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, our ineptitude sometimes in coaching is so fucking abysmal. It's why I didn't want to let go of what's his name to Seattle, Mike McDaniels. He was actually a fucking genius in a certain sense. Like,
yeah, for your defense.
Harbaugh has never shown a good record of hiring. Todd Monken is like the one exception, and he's just waiting for the right job. Is all.
Levi, do you ever think it's because of your division? I mean, the Steelers are usually guaranteed at least 9 to 10 wins usually every year because they never go below 500. And with the inconsistency with the Bengals, like, you guys know just how much you have to do to get into the playoffs.
I like it. I'm a big believer in iron sharpens iron, and I think, I think it really helps in a certain sense as long as there aren't the injuries. You used to have to worry about the Bengals with Burfict over there, taking somebody's head off, giving someone CTE.
Do they have Burfict?
Not anymore.
Burfict is banned from the NFL for life.
Actually,
is it? I didn't know he was.
As he should be, man. That, like, God.
Well, that's why.
So Bebop brings up a good point. It's the 4th of July weekend, folks. Mm-hmm. So we got to have a talk about safety. Mm-hmm. Number one, do not light a firecracker and close your hand around it.
Come on, do we have to play us JPP? Honestly, I did not come back here to have to hear JPP slander.
I didn't think about that until you said
I forgot about
Come on.
YTC's in the chat. I didn't get mad.
Right, if you do a skyrocket,
okay,
let it go.
You'll know he had like 200 something people at that barbecue where the firework went off, and it was a dud, and it was sitting there for like 3 minutes without going off, and he freaked out because the little kids were going near it, and so he grabbed a chair to get away from the kids, and that's when it started to go off, and he closed his fist around it to make sure that it didn't kill him or hurt anyone else around him.
It's the M80. Just throw it in the air.
The way y'all talk about it, it's like he's like this stupid moron that's on like a channel 59 with like the worst pranks ever or the worst things caught on film ever, or that he did it like drunkenly. Like, he did it to save his own life and other people's lives.
He might have been
I forgot all about it.
And then Adam Schefter, sorry, excuse me to ask, that everyone worships, made his fucking livelihood off of buying and selling his medical records to ESPN, and now he's like the godsend of all insiders to everybody, and it makes me pissed off that this pathetic criminal walks away clean Scott and everyone worships Schefter like he's the best thing that ever happened in sports. He's the most corrupt, disgusting individual ever.
Real safety tip, always like have something else. Don't fucking put like a rocket, even if it's got a wood stake that goes in the ground. Don't trust that, because when it launches, the ground is not stable, and that's how people get fucking hit, because it falls as it's launching. Always create your own tube to launch from.
This talk is about safety, folks. I was not referring to Jason Pierre-Paul's incident. It wasn't even coming to mind when I said that.
I didn't know.
Shout out to him,
And I don't know who brought it.
I
That's
actually
just how
used to
my
like
brain works. Okay, I can't.
my
You're
hometown is kind of
okay.
a tourist trap, so we actually used to take pride in like me and my buddy. We would take our money, pull it together in the summer, and like we used to take pride in like putting on shows for the tourists, basically, like near the piers and stuff. Like,
Yo,
What?
Levi, did you see that thing on YouTube the other day? They had like a 400 pounds specially made firework in Japan to be set off, and it like covered the entire sky all in one big shot.
That's a damn nuclear weapon,
oh
right?
yeah,
there.
It was psycho. They had like cranes bringing it in and packing it in. It was like this big ass like ball. It was like,
That's a
I knew some
nuclear
guys
Oh,
that actually
man.
worked like with a professional company, like the ones that like get hired by the baseball stadiums to do the shows and shit. He showed me videos like behind the scenes, like, you know, they're all just like bent over with these giant fucking like torches running down lines, just setting shit off, hoping it doesn't explode and hit
Oh.
them, like misfiring and shit.
Oh.
Like,
Hey,
it's wild.
guys, look, guys. Me and
Yeah.
my friends, we used to shoot bottle rockets at each other, okay? Don't be like us. That's
Oh.
what
Oh, I used to do that too.
Firecrackers,
I have a
if you
story.
get-
Good examples.
I have a
if you
story.
get the waterproof firecrackers, they're not strong enough. You can play firecracker tag.
So
Don't do
I have
it.
a story
Ooh.
about 4th of July.
Good idea.
I was talking with my coworker. So, Levi, you brought up the thing M80s, and so when I was a kid, you know, because I'm from the Bay Area, we knew how to get those stuff. And so when I was a kid, we used to buy them and blow them up, and all how loud they were. And one time we blew one of them up. It cracked.
M80s, you do have to be careful with, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
basically it
super
cracked
careful.
a bunch of like windows. A bunch of windows. We almost got in trouble. So yeah, be careful, people.
Also, if you're shooting
Don't
off
put
what's
it
known as a
in
mortar
people's
tube,
mailbox.
do not try to shoot mortars as fast as you humanly can, like your artillery squad with your boys. Your mortar tube will basically melt and start to curb, and when it curbs, the mortar won't fire, and it will explode inside the tube, and you will hopefully live through it.
What
Me
about
and my boy
the
literally-
flowers?
I dropped it in. I saw like it went to go launch, so it did the bright white light. And like as I was sitting there, I was like backing away, and I was looking at my boy who's in the military in the army, and I was like, shouldn't it have gone off by now? We saw the white light, and we literally turned around and dove in the sand. And like I said, the entire tube just fucking exploded. Shrapnel. People were coming running down the beach like they thought we were dead and shit. My friend up in the dunes, he was really freaked out. Like we were fine though. Dive.
What about those flowers? You could kick them around. The flowers.
Yeah. And also, even if something you lit off a firework, always can basically treat a firework like a firearm. Never point it at somebody, even if it's been set off. Rounds can be sitting in the tube still unfired, and the excess heat from the firework combined with you moving it can dislodge and fire it. So that happens a lot. People are like, oh, let me pick this up, and they look right down in it, and it just poof, right in the face.
Is that how?
I'm more worried that the stupid Jersey block party is coming back to my street again. So a couple of years ago, somebody in Jersey politics decided it was a smart idea to make fireworks legal in our state because they were sick of all the people going up to Philadelphia and buying fireworks.
They were covering
And
up
coming
crime,
back
by
to
the way.
Jersey.
They were covering up a
What's
crime.
up with that,
No,
Kenny?
legitimately, this is a real true story.
Hell no.
So,
Let's go.
Fireworks.
like the first year or so, when they were putting all these like 200 something ass fireworks in ShopRite, like by the checkout area, to remind everyone that now this is legal. Some
This is why
asshole.
I can't sleep at night, guys.
Some
People are fucking
asshole
idiots. You can't
walked
trust
down
people.
my street a couple years ago and had a block party, right? And they were like shooting off fireworks to compete with all the different towns because we live in a little area where we're surrounded by like 4 different towns that have the fireworks going off at different times on July 4th or the day before or whatever how it's set up.
In the South, the trailer parks.
And so this one idiot was drunk off his ass and he's shooting off fireworks on the edge between streets, right? And then his buddy starts running up and down the street everywhere in a little tiny Speedo, and he's like setting off firecrackers spinning in between people's houses and
Sounds
leaving
like
them in the middle of the
Jason
street
Kelsey a
just
couple
spinning. Like,
Sounds like a good time. To
I
me.
hate.
I had one neighbor. I grew up in like a trailer park. They would drive. So if you drive to North Carolina, that's where like the factories are, and you can get it actually way cheaper up in North Carolina. You can
Oh,
probably
don't remind me.
Aerodome probably knows all about what I'm talking about. Actually, you just drive down the road. There's fucking fireworks stands everywhere. And I had a dude. He lived like 2 trailers down from us. He legit came home with a U-Haul truck, like a fucking 16-footer U-Haul, packed to the fucking brim. They shot off from like 7 in the night till like 2 to 3 in the morning straight.
Yeah, I thought I had shots fired a couple days ago, but it was just fireworks for no reason at all.
Yeah, the craziest ones are
Roman candles at each other all the time.
Are when you have like a big town event, like where there are like a big mall or whatever. It's like a big town sponsored fireworks, and then you get these random ass people who want to come out and compete with the professional fireworks, and then they just start shooting off fireworks all night long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is when I went back to college, like what was it, last year or whatever, I entered a business like competition. And of course, like I had to tone down my ideas a little bit, but the idea that I entered with, and they fucking loved it, but I eventually backed out because the investment money wasn't enough. It was basically a scam where they didn't track the money and kids were just there trying to win some extra spending money. Like it wasn't about starting a business. But my business was to start a drone company that was used to replace fireworks celebrations for environmental reasons, for dog reasons, for veteran reasons, and then also use those drones to subcontract to law enforcement for search and rescue, subcontract them for beach rescue, subcontract them for like window washing high rises. Like I said, they fucking loved my idea. And then I was like, eventually we can work into 3D printing, move everything domestics. Like long term, we'll upscale this, produce everything fucking in house, and just like.
I bet you they did love that idea.
I know, and now they're on the rise. They're getting okayed for advertising because they're great. You see them everywhere now. There's when I did my research, there's only like 8 or 9 companies in the U.S. that are like actually have like cross-state licensing in a sense, because like to operate drones, you have to get FAA clearance usually, especially depending on where you're doing it and stuff like that. And it's actually a more logistic nightmare than you could think, like charging 500 drones and making sure you have backups. And most stuff's not set up.
I mean, dude, another thing, safety.
I have a million ideas, but no
especially after like barbecue.
No, I don't mind your idea, Levi, because I think it's really smart for people who have that trigger where they hear that loud explosion.
How many dogs run away every year from fireworks, too?
You know what the crazy part is? My dogs freak out about everything but fireworks.
That's actually crazy.
Everything.
You got war veteran dogs. They're used to the cannon fire.
I mean, literally, they freak out over the snow guys. Got the guys that have the big trucks with the big brushes that are clean the streets. They'll freak out about everything. Weed whackers, like just like the smallest, weirdest shit. There was this one year when we first got the poodle from the shelter, and I don't know if you guys have it in your area, but they used to have those like the really big bags you bought from Home Depot where you could put your grass clippings in it. And one day, one of those bags fell over because it was really windy, and my poodle like jumped 10 feet away from the curb. She was so scared of this bag that fell over. But fireworks never freaked him out.
So real quick, speaking of dogs and fireworks, you want to know the reason I can rarely ever get sleep now that it's 4th of July? It's close to 4th of July. So, I don't have a dog myself.
Warriors.
But yeah. So people decide just randomly, and it's probably Philly people, to just randomly at 1, 2 in the morning to just set off fireworks. And my legitimately next door neighbors who are legitimately outside my window, right across my driveway, they have at least 3 dogs. I kid you not. I cannot sleep after that.
Damn, Kershaw needs one more strikeout.
He's
Hey, Spongy, did you ever try like listening to a white noise machine or music or something else to
I do.
distract
But
you?
I do.
No,
But that
I'm
does-
being honestly serious. Like, I used to
I
live by
do.
Route 80 in New Jersey, and there would be like these times where the main road would be closed, and you had to have every trucker pass your house to get through to the
No,
next
I
town.
do. You just gotta.
And
I
you
don't
gotta
think-
find shit that'll block that crap out and just like let
I
you
don't
sleep.
think you guys understand how close I am.
No,
to their
I
front
understand
door.
exactly how close you're talking about, but that's why I'm saying, for me, when I was little, it had to be like really loud music, or I had to leave my TV running. And it's back in the days of VHSs, and I would let a VHS play, and I would fall asleep to it,
Speak of
even if it took a
VHS.
couple times.
Get the pencil out, rewind that VHS.
Oh yeah, you rewind it.
Get
Maybe you
Blockbuster
can see-
fine.
Maybe you can see some Cowboys championships if you rewind the VHS a little bit.
We might have to go
What?
a little further back.
Cowboys?
Oh, Spongy. Now, see, you could have come and insulted the Niners fans who are here. You could have
I
done a
could've.
whole bunch of other things, but you went to the Cowboys.
Cowboys deserve it too. They deserve it. Every
Cowboys
single-
are a horrible team.
Like I said, there's a legit chance they might not have a 300-pounder on that D line by after camp cuts. Like, and if so, they are going to get bullied, and it's going to be fun to watch. to be
But you-
honest.
Okay, Levi, you have no skin in this game, so I gotta ask you, as like the only person who doesn't really care about the NFC, what
What
the
about
hell
the
do
Cowboys?
people? No, what the hell do people see in Micah Parsons? Because I don't see it.
I'm with you.
Regu-
I'm not a huge fan
Regular
of him.
season, and especially in the postseason, the man is like a ghost. He does not do a thing. I have never seen a bigger name just melt away in big games the way Micah Parsons does, and everyone crows like he's like the second coming of LT.
If we
It
took
drives
him,
me absolutely crazy.
He wins
Oh,
with speed. If
you-
he doesn't
you
win
mean
with
Victor
speed, he's not
Christ?
winning anything. And also, I think he's a little fucking crazy after watching him on CJ Stroud's podcast. People were joking.
He's a
They were
big
talking about
Eagles
bringing
fan.
him to Baltimore because we needed an edge rusher, and I was like, please fucking no.
Wait,
If
wait,
we-
wait.
if
you
we
wanna know
drafted-
why- you wanna
if we
know why he
drafted
might be
Micah
crazy?
Parsons instead of Trey Lance, we'd have 2 Super Bowls. Think about
Yeah.
you might be right on that.
it. No, I'm 100%
No.
right.
Because you
You
needed
wanna
someone
know-
opposite Joey Bosa since you drafted Joey.
Nick Bosa,
Sorry.
first of all.
You wanna
Second
know
of
why
all,
he might be a bit crazy? It's because he's an
have you
Eagles fan.
seen what Micah Parsons does when he's against a Trent Williams or anyone that legitimately needs him to actually step up even for 2
Gets
plays?
stonewalled, I'm guessing, because he can't win with speed.
He
definitely
starts
not
playing
winning.
patty cake. I swear to God.
Patty cake.
Again, because
Maybe
if he
it's
can't
my
win
own
with
bias,
speed, he gets
but
stonewalled.
you watch Micah Parsons in those big games, and then you watch Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants. They're the same freaking athlete. When push comes to shove, these guys do
I'm the same weight as
absolutely-
Mike. Actually, I think I'm heavier than Micah. Parsons.
alligator arm nothing.
Hold on, I'm gonna look. I think I'm actually way more than Micah Parsons, if I'm not mistaken. Which was one of my big knocks on him was his fucking weight coming in, because if you're an
So,
edge rusher,
again,
it's different. Like
I've said this before. The whole 3-4
We're about the same
outside
weight. He's listed
linebacker,
as
pass rushing
245.
linebacker does not work out in our system. That's what Micah Parsons is.
he's like this
So,
new
we
blend that
don't
kind of
know
works with
if
the
he was-
Eagles.
Would have been
What?
across
A
from
player
Nick.
that
player
can
for
kind of
us.
move around a little bit. That's what
But
Nicole.
David, you know this better than most people. Every time there's a big name that could be around the Niners, everyone says, "Oh, we would have had this many Super Bowls, or we would have done this much better if we had this player on our team." Like, people still won't let go of Asante Samuel Jr.
He's a
that we
free
gave up
agent. Go get him.
for Aaron Banks. Like, this is just how the Niner fans work.
Has anyone signed Kazir White yet?
No, he's still.
I still think
available.
that's y'all's guy.
Although,
Get some
I
divisional
wouldn't mind-
revenge.
I wouldn't mind bringing Kaiser back either.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. Like, he's in one of those guys. I think he's like 29ish,
Levi,
maybe.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Levi, I'll talk to you that a little bit later, maybe after the show. If you have a few things to say.
actually, I do got to get Rick going here in a minute. We're
Levi, I hope you have a safe and happy 4th of July.
I'll be sitting here probably playing video games. We're actually we got the kid over right now, and the girlfriend's gonna go grab some food, so I got to go watch him.
You said you got a kid over?
Oh man,
Levi,
we
you
had
said
some
you got a kid over?
impromptu, like less than like 5 minutes notice change and everything. So it's just how it goes. Florida's always wild.
Yeah.
We can't talk about it on stream. Actually, we can't talk about it
It
at
is?
all.
No,
Florida's calm, tame. Actually, fun fact: Wall Street Journal just did an article before I get out of here. Cape Coral, which is near me, probably 10, 20 minutes. The worst housing market in the United States. Houses are down like an insane amount, and it's because they have no water for the city. It's just here in Florida. People are greedy. They keep, just like in California, but even worse. They keep building and building and building and building and developing, but there's no infrastructure to do it. And now they also destroy the water source. Basically, every resident in Cape Coral, the entire city, needs new wells drilled because the city waters just can't get it across the fucking little bay, essentially. And there's no other water source. So every resident basically just got hit with a $40,000 well drilling bill. And that's if they can find someone to do it.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
They've been out of water for years. It's like fucking Flint, Michigan down here, and it's just getting worse and worse.
This is disrespectful as hell. It says, who's the best pass catching unit, wide receivers, tight ends in the NFL? Bengals 50%, Cowboys 4%.
Where are the Eagles at on that?
No one cares about the Eagles.
I will admit that wide receiver unit for Cincinnati, like Jamar Chase, of course, T. Higgins.
That's gonna blow up in their faces.
But they took that second round kid from Alabama.
Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, pretty good wide receiver. And then my boy from Princeton a few years ago.
Well, see, here's the thing with Burton. He's a decent receiver. A lot of attitude issues.
Yeah.
He's worse than a diva.
He's not going to be the one with speed. He's a good route runner, and that's exactly what all you need when you got Jamar Chase and T. Or is it Tyler Boyd? I always forget which one. Tyler Boyd, I think, is trying to make the comeback.
It was T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I saw Tyler Boyd's asking teams to sign him or something.
Yeah, he wants to come back home. He wants either Philly or
Pittsburgh. Hey, Levi, can I ask you, as a Raven fan, don't you think that the Bengals made a mistake letting go of Joe Mixon? Because he was their last real rough, tough.
I love Chase
offensive.
Nah.
Joe
offensive weapon.
Joe Mixon, when he was a rookie, I hated him. To be honest, as a person. After that footage of him punching that girl, even though
I'm not talking about the person. I'm just talking about the football player because he brought an integrity to that
twilight
offense.
of his career. He doesn't have that same burst in the running game that he had the first 9 years of his career. Now, as a pass catching weapon, he's still one of the better ones in the league. Don't get me wrong.
Give me Chase Brown.
But what it is he had no ability to run in between the tackles, and he lost his speed to run outside the tackles. The Bengals just refused to play Chase Brown and even put him in pass catching downs early last year. And what's funny is at the end of the year, they finally started giving him pass catching opportutes, and he fucking crushed it. It was his best week of fantasy.
Levi, do you face them in September?
I'm not sure when we face him. And again, Chase Brown, one of my running backs from my best running back draft class.
I'm just curious because
he was a 5th round guy.
He was on my team.
Aren't most years guaranteed?
Sorry, not fantasy. My draft special. My apologies.
Aren't most years that they're the New York teams where they're only guaranteed one win in the first 6 weeks of the year? The Bengals start off abysmally slow.
Yeah, one of the worst in the NFL. And their defense ain't gonna help them this year.
Sounds about right.
All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. It's been fun as always. What up, Terradome?
It's never fun with you, Levi.
I know. I'm such a pain in the ass, bro.
I just saw you on the news a couple days ago.
Hey, don't believe everything you see on the news anymore. It's all AI deepfakes.
Oh yeah.
Levi, thank you for cheering me up and being here today.
Sir, I hope you feel better. By the way.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a great night.
Yep.
All right. See you later.
But yeah, folks. So it is the 4th of July. We were going through the safeties earlier. We were saying don't pull a Jason Pierre-Paul. We were saying, and I didn't actually know I was saying that, but I did. Don't shoot bottle rockets at each other. That's not a good idea. Me and my friends were crazy when we were young.
Yeah, we used to do that too.
McNider,
Like,
you were
like
crazy.
Roman
when you were
candles
young.
too. That's another one. That
McNider,
hurt.
you were crazy when you were young. I'm just messing around.
He's crazy now. So
Well,
imagine when he was young.
hey, you get older, but you don't have to actually grow up.
Yep.
Kenny.
But yeah, 4th of July, everyone have fun. I'm gonna be blowing stuff up, and
Nice.
Utah legalized good fireworks. Although I still go out of state to get the ones that are like professional grade, but
What's the difference?
a couple hundred
There's a
feet,
difference.
couple 100 feet, and a little less of a boom.
Also,
Oh.
is it,
Yeah,
is,
it's
it,
my sister's birthday that day
is it
too.
So
Utah
less annoying.
mostly a desert?
Well, it's like the 4th of July around here. It's dry. So people are like, folks, if you live in a dry climate and you're setting off fireworks, either have a hose ready to go or have some serious buckets of water around. Don't start a fire.
Yep.
Don't be like my neighbors who moved. And, one day we were setting out fireworks. The mortar tube actually fell over.
That's great.
And shot directly at them and went through them.
Oh,
And they
wow.
just sat there. They just sat there like, oh, hey, look at that.
Just a normal day.
Like,
in Utah.
get up
Okay,
and
dude.
get away. What are you guys doing? It was hilarious. It was like, I mean, this is my neighbor that had 8 kids. It's almost like they were like, we got 8.
We got 8.
They're probably doing jackass.
But dude, seriously, I wish I had that on video. I would play a clip of it firing right through them, and them just.
You probably make some money on that too. funniest most video.
Oh man. But yeah, just be careful, be safe. That's the big thing, right?
Don't drink and drive as well.
Yep.
Kenny, are we actually going live tomorrow for your news thing?
Yeah, are we?
Okay.
5 o'clock tomorrow because the 4th is Friday, so I'm not going to do anything on the 4th.
What news thing?
I do a show on Fridays, usually 5 p.m. West Coast time.
They talk about
It's
comedians.
serious. It's like news and politics and stuff.
Well-
Stuff we don't talk about on this channel.
You know why? Because I love to watch Bill Maher on Friday, but he's not going to be on for like 2 months, and so I'm going to be Bill Maher.
So he's going to talk about comedians, language.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, teaser. We're going to learn how to say "May I pet your beaver" in a few different languages.
Oh my lord!
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny.
Yeah. That's what we're going to do.
So,
Here we go.
Kenny, I have a gripe with you.
Yeah.
It's not the Filipino language; it's Tagalog.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I've
I
seen-
saw that. I thought it was Tagalog or
It's
I
Tagalog.
couldn't pronounce it. Yeah, Tagalog.
Because you're offending my peoples.
Yeah, no, I learned that.
I'm just messing, Kenny.
I learned that when I was looking that up, so that's.
I'm
cool.
just messing with.
Yeah.
Buddy. You're good.
I was
dude.
like, what? I'm like, what is this? Like, why does it keep saying Tagalog? And I'm like, I have no idea
It's
what this
Tagalog.
means.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you know.
So now I know.
Hey, what's happening? What's
Chili.
going on? I hope you have a happy 4th. We were just talking about safety rules.
Yep.
Chile.
Not closing hands around fireworks. Don't shoot, bottle rockets at each other. Don't be like me and my friends.
That's good. Don't be
stuff like
Jason
that.
Pierre-Paul either. Shout out to the Giants. They suck.
Damn.
Spongy, you do realize that one day you're gonna talk so much shit that all Eagle fans are just gonna fall apart because you guys just
Spongy.
can't live up to all your BS.
Spongy.
They're too
Giants,
drunk to remember.
The Giants are gonna get you guys this year at least one time.
So are the
No,
Cowboys.
not
So are the
happening.
Cowboys.
Giants. I'm realistic when I have to watch these games with my father. Giants will be lucky if they can even tie or be competitive in one of the Commander games this year. Let's be honest. Like every year, they were at least guaranteed to either sweep the Commanders or be 1-1 or win one and tie one. Now it's not even competitive with Jane Daniels. And that's not to say that later on Jackson's art can't work out for them, but they're not starting the rookie. You don't know what the rookie's going to be like, especially with Dable being Dable. But
Dable is going to try and turn him into Josh Allen, but he's not Josh Allen.
I'll give you this one thing, though, Spongy. The only time I will sort of be okay with Philly and not root against Philly will be when you guys are facing Debo. I love the rest of the Commanders. I genuinely love Brian Robinson and Scary Terry and Jane Daniels and so many other people there. But I want to see you guys just like flatten Debo in Philadelphia.
So problem, I think Debo is on steroids. Because
because he's 300 pounds.
Hold on.
Yeah, I heard a story that he's the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah, he's big.
So it's crazy. Just a week ago, he was a Pillsbury Doughboy. He was very big, and now he's all fit and jacked up. I don't understand. Like what PEDs did he take?
He got on the
He
treadmill.
does that every single year. Every single year he shows up about like 260. He looks like he's been like eating mac and cheese and nothing else every single day, like 15 times a day. He's so out of shape, and then like come 2 weeks before August, he's supposed to be back in shape and he's ready to go, and then it just wanes off afterwards. It's just I cannot say how grateful I am that Debo Samuel is no longer a Niner.
Poor Debo.
I know how he got back in shape.
No, poor Debo.
I know how he got back in shape. He went to Saquon's dealer.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I crossed the line.
And got some old-fashioned. I got you. So Chili's already in the same boat with me and my friends, shooting Roman candles at each other. His grandpa was the biggest advocate for these fireworks. That's funny. He's a firefighter. That's funny.
I know firefighters like that too.
The hate towards Devo. I don't hate him. He's on another team now.
I do.
Not a problem anymore.
I don't hate him.
Do.
I just felt that in the last couple of years he has diminished so badly. And
what happened if the Niners trade Jennings?
No. Corona, do not put that out there. I don't want to fight with you, but I will fight with you.
Corona.
Do not bring that up. If I have to hear Breezy say that one more time, I'm gonna get like seriously violently upset with somebody. Like,
that's why I got it.
Y'all gotta stop with this. Like, do you really truly understand what do we have at receiver right now that's healthy? It's Juwan Jennings and a bunch of 2-year players or rookies. Y'all gotta stop trying to get rid of this man who fucking had trick plays in the Super Bowl, who carries you to a Super Bowl, who performed in a Super Bowl, who has done nothing but have your fucking backs every fucking year, and y'all always fail him in his biggest games and never even tried to win. Stop trying to send away Juwan Jennings. Like, it's pathetic at this point. Stop. He's not Crabtree. I don't understand. You loved 1 of 15 and you want to get rid of the other 15 no matter what. It makes no sense.
I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Juwan Jennings.
Of course you would, Spongy.
You take anybody, Spongy.
Spongy would take all Bear fans.
We'll trade you Jahan Dotson for Juwan Jennings. We'll give you a 7th in that deal.
You guys only run the ball or throw your quarterback in the end zone. You don't do anything else.
No, we push him into the end zone. Kenny, get it right.
No, you throw him in.
So, Spongy, I also want to say I was on a podcast earlier, and they were talking about Jalen Hurts, and I have to agree with them. He's a bona fide running back with a good offensive line.
And what was this podcast?
It had a Cowboys fan.
Oh, yeah.
And another Cowboys fan. And another Cowboys fan.
Michael was telling me about it. I know.
Hey, Spongy, is that really going to become like the new highlight that your team pushes as press? Who does more on the press? Hurts or Barkley?
No, it's a fact that Hurts does nothing. It was done as like a physicist talked about it.
A physicist.
It has
you mean like the Titanic door where some people said that he could have fit on the door and other people said he couldn't? Come on, Kenny.
Scientists talked about this. They said it has nothing to do with what he squats. He gets picked up and he gets thrown into the fucking end.
CTE.
He's a passenger. That's what
he's a passenger.
So he's a passenger princess, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
He's not even a quarterback princess like Ellen.
Yes,
like,
yes. Just like they said, he's a bona fide running back with a good offensive line.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Shout out to them.
It's true. Unfortunately, he's really good in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So
Remember, he's a running back with a strong arm. He's like Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill was good.
Hey, I don't know if any of you guys can stay afterwards, but I want to ask you guys something off the live because I don't want to start a thing that's gonna drive everybody crazy.
I will stay, but I'm going to be on the toilet. If that's okay with you.
Oh, that's great. What do you have to eat?
Kenny, it's like 2 seconds.
All right, I'll wait.
I literally have not done much but recover, so I need to ask people I trust this question and not take it from the national media heads, but I don't want to bring it up on the live because I know it's just going to create a free for all.
Ooh.
We got Kershaw. We got. I know. There's not a baseball channel, but Kershaw did it.
He got 3,000 Ks.
Yep.
3,000 strikeouts. Nice.
Crazy Drew said, "I want to keep Jennings, but he most likely will be gone after this season."
He's gonna want a lot of money.
I wonder where. Is he coming to Philly? I'll take him.
No, Kansas City.
100 pitches too, Kenny.
Don't do that, Kenny. Come on, man.
Well, also, Tennessee is a possibility.
Where wide receivers go to die. Okay.
No, they have Cam Ward now.
Oh.
Kenny, he threw 100 pitches too.
Wow. Yeah, I thought he'd get 3K tonight. They weren't going to take him out.
You never know. Like they're not in public, but they were working with him on another extension, I think. But you never know what's going to happen.
We've signed our entire
You guys
core.
do realize that this man has only had one deal that was not 1 year, right?
I know. That's why
y'all remember that he was a 7th round draft pick, but he never actually got that contract. He was cut, put on the practice squad, then put on the MPI list on the practice squad. So he's been on nothing but 1 year tenders his entire career, aside from last year and this year. And y'all act like he's like milking the Niners dry and that they will never be able to afford him. Like, I honestly, genuinely do not understand the mentality where these guys
I'm not on that train.
Not you, McKnight. I'm not attacking you or anyone on this panel. I'm just saying in general. I do not understand that all these fans keep saying that you won't be able to afford him. You won't be able to afford him. Like, I understood like some of the hate towards Jay Greenlaw because he legitimately had these huge groin injuries and he couldn't stay healthy. But with Jennings, he has not had these mega injuries. Like, I don't understand where this hate comes from, aside from him not being a high receiver, or he doesn't have these elite traits. Because, like, I'm sorry, if elite traits are what you're going off by, what the hell did Debo ever do in the playoffs?
I think it comes down to money. He's going to want more money than the Niners are going to want to pay him. That's all it is.
Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but I'm going off of what I've seen so far. This guy has bought in. This guy has fought.
Somebody, I don't know who it was. Somebody
whether he gets paid or not, I feel much safer paying him than I do a Ayuk or Debo.
Yeah.
There's no ego there. Like, do you see that game where he carried the Niners against the Rams? Like, what was it, week 2 last year in LA? Where he had 3 touchdowns? And then they just like quit on him by trying to force it to Chris Connolly or these other pathetic ass receivers, and they gave the game away at the end. And then Jake Moody misses the kick. Like, I will never understand the mentality of the fans, the players, the coaches, and then it just makes me scratch my head. Like, why y'all have such an issue with this one player?
I don't.
I love Jawan.
Anyway, so who do you guys think competes with D Winners for LB2? Because I don't think D Winners should have got it.
I think
he can't even stay healthy for 3 quarters in one game.
Now, I'm honestly
Nick Martin.
The rookie Nick Martin has a good chance.
Yeah, Kenny. Nick Martin.
Wait, didn't Didn't Trent Williams go viral saying that Nick Martin had like some kind of finger injury or something at his presser?
Yeah, he broke his thumb already.
It sounds like a great Niner player right there. Already
Yeah,
getting
that's funny.
These classic Niners. We sign players who were hurt the year before they get drafted. This is crazy shit.
Sounds about right.
And we take guys who we could have gotten 5 rounds later. And for some, it's
I
just what we
think
do.
if we won that Super Bowl, I think Jennings would have been the MVP.
My biggest problem with the
He
Niners,
would have
and
been. He
David
should have
knows
been.
this, is I hate the way the Niners draft. Period. That's my problem with the Niners. They draft like shit.
I agree. The way
And
we
they
draft,
play like it too,
you know. Now, I've said this to other people. The way we draft has nothing to do with the big board. We draft for whatever works. So whatever our defensive scheme is, we're to draft that. Whatever
You know what? Honestly, the Rams do the same thing. They don't care about the big board. They do their own thing too.
Well,
There's a couple teams.
but they also draft for value. And again, I hate saying that the Rams in the last couple of years, at least they're not afraid to get players that work for them that are at the top of the big board. And I hate saying that because I do not like the Rams.
Here's what the Niners do. This is what pisses me off. It's like if you go to a class, like if you're in college,
Not
you go to
even
class,
Rams fans like the Rams.
and a professor's like, "This is what's going to be on the test."
Eagles fans like Rams.
And then the Niners ask a whole bunch of questions that weren't going to be on the test. That's the equivalent of their drafting. Like that's what they do. They don't care what everyone else in the world thinks and how they rank players. They rank their own players, and in the end, it bites them in the ass. And so maybe one day they'll be good at that, but right now they're not good at it.
They've
Well,
never
2024, that draft's pretty good.
That draft was
so
good.
far. I haven't graded it.
I will say
2023 and 2022, not so much. We did get Brock Purdy, but
I will say this.
Not an Adam Peters fan.
The method of the madness is like, but for whatever the reason, we find players that work somehow. They work. You know, at the time, like I said, and I will be the first to say, when we drafted Ricky Pearsall, I was probably the most angriest. But then when I saw him play, I started to realize, okay, now I understand why we drafted him. It doesn't make sense when we draft him, but then you wait 3 years down the road and you're like, oh, yeah, that's why we drafted him. So I know the method to the madness makes no sense. But
because we're going to lose Debo or what?
Well, that's part of why they took Pearsall and Cowing.
Mm-hmm.
And Cowing, the red shirt's off, so we'll actually see him on the field this next season.
It's crazy that we redshirt rookies.
Piggybacking on what John Jay said, like I agree with that to a certain point, but then there are some stupid boneheaded things that the Niners do that I will never be able to be okay with.
Sure.
Like picking Aaron Banks of all freaking players just because Michael Glenchie was suffering without Joe Staley there, so they went and got him from somebody else that wanted Notre Dame with him because they thought that was going to magically fix Michael Glenchie.
And it sure
or they get these guys that are so standout at one particular thing. Like they're supposed to be like really proficient or could be truly elite at one position, and then they think, oh well, because they're Niners now, we're gonna completely flip them on the line, completely screw it with their heads, do everything opposite of what they've done their entire careers, and try to force someone to be a multifaceted thing that they're not comfortable with or will ever be proficient at. And they give up on them when they don't take off. Like, I will never understand drafting for need and then putting somebody at the most disadvantageous position that they possibly can, and then also picking players because based on whoever they have on the roster has some tie to them.
You mean like Spencer Burford, the guy that played a left tackle pretty much his whole college career, and then all of a sudden we want him to play right guard?
Yeah,
we did it with Dominic Pooney was a left tackle, left guard.
Yeah, explain that to me.
Also, he plays right guard.
Forcing Eric Armstead to try to play defensive end for years. I don't understand these things.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners play like the Niners run the 49ers the way I do like my Madden team. I do wild ass shit because it's a game. It's not real.
And people will come back at me and they'll be like, well, there was an injury that year or there wasn't enough depth at a certain position. But then you should freaking draft better for what you know is your lack of what your roster is. Like, I don't understand it. You went and got Jason Poe. You got all these guys that are supposed to be these little hybrids. and then you give up on them, and then you keep guys like freaking Colton McKivitz, and you cut him and then bring him back. You cut him and you bring him back, because like you're just so pathetically obstinate about developing these guys and letting them play at what they're actually genuinely good at. And that's what drives me crazy when people say, "Oh, Chris Forster's this great coach." Like, I don't see it.
Hey guys, next time we cover the draft, because David and I will be covering the draft again, which I missed it last time. I was very disappointed I didn't do the draft with David this past year. This April that passed.
Well, just the first round. You did the second and third.
Yeah, but the first round is the one that, like,
day 2 and 3, I should say.
Yeah, of course, day 2 and 3, definitely. Mm-hmm. But I missed doing the first round with you. Here's what I think we should do next year. You and I should draft for the 49ers while that's going on next year, and we could see who does better, us or the Niners.
I think you guys will do better. I think you guys will do way better.
I know
you guys will do.
I know we will.
Heck yeah. That's 100%.
I did a bunch of mock drafts like on shorts and stuff, but it's not the same because the other teams are not.
You don't know
picking.
You don't know what players are there.
Right. We don't know what players are actually there. But I took Alfred Collins in a draft. David took Jordan James. David took players too that the Niners, but we took them later. Like, we didn't take them as early as the Niners. Like, we took them fucking way later, and they think they would have been there.
I did take Alfred Collins, C.J. West, Jordan James, and the quarterback, Curtis Rourke. I took him, but that was also like a late 7th round pick. So that was kind of that was right in the ballpark of where I would have took him.
Crazy Juice says, why does our fan base act like a bunch of hyenas?
Because you guys are a bunch of hyenas.
Because hyenas take down lions. That's why.
Well,
we're the hyenas. You guys are the lions. We take you guys down a lot.
Laugh at a lot of stuff, stupid stuff too. All right. Hey, speaking of, it's getting kind of late. I need to get some sleep. I'm going to be cooking for 50. I think 6, maybe even 60 people tomorrow, because right now it's
you have to cook chicken. You have to cook chicken.
What is this at work?
I have to cook chicken for Catrice because she does not eat pork or red meat.
Where are you doing this at work, David?
Yes.
All right.
We got a pit not sponsored YouTube, a Pit Boss smoker, and I literally did the burn in today at the top temperature just to make sure, and I smelled it afterwards to make sure I didn't have to do that again. So we'll be good to go, but. Yeah, this ought to be good. I'm getting promoted to upper management because typically upper management is someone's cooking. So for a day.
It's like always fucked around.
It's always go Birds.
Oh. No.
Oh, as Corey Davis says, go Niners and fuck all 31 other teams.
Yeah, especially the Rams. Fuck the Rams.
And Jalen.
Yeah, fuck the Rams.